We did a few more test cuts with the sawmill. During this we ran into some issues. Here we had a log that was a little bit too big. We have a bigger cutting wheel for it, but I think that needs to be sharpened, but we might have to look at getting that installed if tackling more of this size logs, because doing it like this and cleaning it up with a chainsaw quickly gets boring, especially since the chain was kind of dull. We also ran into some issues and started figuring out that the anvil, the support that sets the thickness of what you're going to cut, is not really perfectly aligned with the blade, so that will, I think my dad has already looked at that actually, because we had issues with the boards, or the cuts ended up being more and more crooked for each pass as we started cutting slices out of the log. And my sister also had a little request for a special size thing. She wanted to do some kind of shelf out of. Also had a little bit of issue here and there that the log wouldn't move, but that could be partly cause of the extra stress when something is not perfectly aligned. So we don't have any real project where we will use these pieces, so we just cut them to size that could be, well, we'll find some use for them in the future. Some of it will probably be used to prop up some of the machines when wheels needs to be removed. And we had also taken down the speed of the power, the tractor, the output, because that was set at the first test run to 1000 RPM we found, and I think we should keep it at 540 that we have now. Everything goes a little slower, but this is just for leisure. It's not gonna be big time production, so it's better to keep a moderate pace, and it feels safer and more secure. We did some tests with stacking boards on top of each other, and here you can see one bending up a little. I think that's partly because of the crookedness in the cutting. So, and when we were happy with the testing and had cut up the test logs we had laid out there, we used the excavator and lifted on some like roofs, some covers for the wooden parts. You can see some of the rollers are a little cracked, and at some point it can be, I think the bench that moves, it's jumping a little because some of the rollers are not perfectly round anymore, so we might need to look into replacing a couple of them. Yeah, just packing up the saw bench for now. We have some projects that we will need it for in the future. We might try to save an old building and replace a couple of the logs it's built up from, so that are rotten.